Hey guys, this is Lord Netsu here, and today we're gonna do I'm pretty sure part 2 of What If Naruto was the reincarnation of the Doomslayer. And if you guys need to catch up, watch the previous What If, pretty much, watch the last episode of this. Or part, whatever you want to say. And last we left off, basically, Tsunade, her assistant, Cecily, and Naruto started heading towards Konoha, but when they get there, they're gonna be in the shadow, pretty much. Yeah, they're gonna be in the shadows. And I'm gonna say this. For the time that Tsunade and her assistant have been with Naruto, oh wait, I'm gonna say this once, and only once. When Orochimaru tries to find Tsunade, he will not be able to. Yeah. Pretty much she let go, pretty much, for her habit to do gambling. She just goes against her. Hold on, what's the name? Okay, I'm back, and Tsunade would call Naruto. Well, technically, I can't remember the word right now, but yeah. Basically, Naruto's helped her increase her stealth. And right now, his chakra control is at Tsunade's level now. Because yeah, he's been doing chakra control for most of his life. Oh, and I gotta say this now. His chakra natures: fire, wind, and lightning. Those are his base. And sometime later, he learned water style. He pretty much unlocked his water styles. So yeah. Oh, and since I forgot to do this in the last part, I'm gonna do it now. This is what Yuki looks like, and this is Mema. Yeah, Mema has blue eyes, and yeah, Mema looks like the Mema from that movie or episode, whatever you would call it. And Yuki pretty much looks like a female version of Naruto. But in this one, Naruto was pretty much after he's okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna say this. After he fully became one with the Doomslayer, he basically became after he became one with the Doomslayer, he pretty much got this type of features, but he's still gonna have his whiskers on his face. Yeah, that's pretty much all that is new to him. And yeah, on the way there, I'm gonna say this. Yeah, halfway there, the Doomslayer finally tells him about the location of his body, because yeah, he's gonna know where it is. And Deku stops for 1 second, and pretty much all three of them ask, Naruto, what's wrong? And it's like, I'll be right back. With a smile on his face. A creepy one. Like, one that pretty much tells you I'm getting something new. Like, it pretty much tells all three of them, whoever messes with me after I get this it's gonna have a bad time. And they're like, oh. And Tsunami just asked, do you need one of us to come with you? I was like, no. And then he just runs off to the direction where it is. We skip 2 hours later. Because, yeah, you're going that fast. And, yeah, this is like, let's say this now. You literally, if you would want to get to where this location is, you would have to jump from the edge of the land where, yeah, pretty much just is on a small island. But it's large enough for a cave, that got avalanche to be there, but it's too small for anyone to see it. So yeah, he literally jumped as high as he could to get to it. And he landed right on it. And he's like, okay, so, Dune's like, is it here? And it's like, yeah, just break through where you're at. And he's like, okay. And he pretty much punched straight through. And yeah, then Christina and me was like, what's in this cave? Pretty much all three of them asked what's in this cave. And the Dune Shark goes like, give me a minute. And he imagines his suit of armor again. And he pretty much imagines it on himself. And it pretty much comes right on him. And he's like, this is what he's looking for. And anyone can, pretty much, just imagine their jaws drop. And Chroma's like, what the heck is that? And the Dune starts like, well, this is my armor. And in this world, it's literally impossible to even penetrate it. Or leave a mark on it. And Chroma's like, oh crap. And it's like, yeah. And in my world, there was only one weapon that could even pretty much damage it. And it was pretty much a and it pretty much was made out of demon energy. And it was called the Crucible Blade. And Chroma's like, damn, that must have been powerful then. He's like, yeah, it was literally made, the blade of it was literally made out of demon energy. And Chroma's like, oh, it's like, yeah. So, nothing here can either scratch or destroy the armor. So yeah, and I'm pretty sure he's gonna have a seal to where he can just pretty much seal the armor inside that seal. And then when he unleashes it, I bet he's gonna do that. And I was like, and yeah, Naruto actually made something like that. Actually, once he saw the suit, he pretty much, once he saw the Demon Slayer's body, he's like, oh dang. It's like, so, Slayer, is this your body? He's like, yeah. And there's the armor. It's like, oh, cool. And he's like, so, what now? It's like, either try to put it on, see what happens. And he puts it on. And for some reason, yeah, he's not the same size as the Dune Slayer in height. But in muscle mass, yeah, he's pretty much the same amount, but it's a bit bigger. So when he puts it on, for some reason, it pretty much shrinks to his size. And he's like, oh, that's convenient. And it's like, yes. Now, the Dune Slayer just tells him, Naruto, follow my instructions. It's like, okay, and he pretty much, and this is a jutsu that he made just when Naruto finally found his armor, and it's a jutsu where it pretty much makes the armor pretty much you can only use it until the day you die. So yeah, and he pretty much goes through the same signs, and then there's like armor binding, and Naruto just says armor binding jutsu, and it pretty much binds to him. Like if it only, yeah, the only person that can wield it now is him. That's it. So yeah, and then Naruto takes it off and goes like, okay, so what did that do? And it's like, so, well, basically that made it so only you can use this. And it's like, oh, nice. No, he would be like this. Nice. It's like, yep. And basically, this is the only armor in the world that is literally, there's literally nothing that this world can do to destroy this armor. It's like, bloody hell. It's like, yeah. Oh, technically, since this is made out of a material, we can also do this. It's like, wait, what? It's like, actually, I can do it. Just let me take over your body real quick. He's like, better idea. And he goes like, Shadow Clone Jutsu. No, perfect Shadow Clone Jutsu. And he's like, there you go, Slayer. He's like, perfect. Oh, and since Slayer pretty much got pretty much every single information that he would need, pretty much from Kagetsu now, he is gonna get every single chakra nature. Yeah, boy. That's what I'm doing. And I'm gonna say, he's the first one to ever, well, pretty much the only one that's gonna have the material nature jutsu. Well, material chakra nature. So basically, he can do whatever he wants with any type of material. So yeah, then he starts working on the armor, and he goes like material expanding jutsu, and he pretty much covers up, pretty much makes those parts that were exposed not exposed anymore, but you can still move freely in those parts. And Naruto's like, why do you do that? It's like, he pretty much slaps him with the perfect shadow clone and goes like, you idiot, think. Well, actually, no, he doesn't have a perfect shadow clone. He has regular shadow clones. It's like, you idiot, think. It's like, oh yeah, so I don't get hurt there. And it's like, exactly. Now, I'm pretty sure you're working on a seal, but pretty much make it so if you unseal it, it'll automatically come on you. It's like, oh yeah, I have that. And he's like, okay, I'm gonna make a name for this. Okay, guys. His seal is gonna pretty much, yeah, when he's finished doing the jutsu, he's gonna call it Slayer style armor sealing. Slayer style Doom Slayer armor. Doom Slayer seal. Slayer style armor seal. And basically, once he's gonna first he's gonna put the armor on, then he's gonna do this. Pretty much do the hand signs, and when he's at the last hand sign, he goes like Slayer style armor sealing jutsu, and he just taps right on where his chest is, right on top of the upper part of the chest. Well, I'm just gonna say this: when he finishes the seal, he pretty much when he's about to do the seal, he touches his chest. Pretty much touch where his chest, the middle of his chest would be. on that chest plate for the armor. And pretty much the seal goes straight through the armor to his chest. And then the armor just pretty much I'm just gonna say this. It pretty much a red aura comes around each piece of the armor, and it pretty much sucks it inside the seal. So yeah. Oh, and the armor is not gonna look like Naruto's armor is gonna look like this, but black and red. Oh, and yeah, the seal is gonna have the Doomslayer symbol. The only difference, well, yeah, he'll have the Doomslayer symbol on his right in the middle of his chest with pretty much like seal symbols on right pretty much surrounding it. And he puts pretty much, and yeah, he's done with that, and he pretty much goes straight back to where Tsunade and the others are at. And he just pretty much jumps. He pretty much gets a running start and jumps all the way over there. And he lands in a hero position. Basically, his fist on the ground and one of his knees in the ground with his hand on the other. And he gets up and they're like, what you do? And then he's like, this is what? And then he pulls up his shirt and shows the Demon Slayer symbol. And pretty much all three of them are like, what the heck is that? And Naruto's like, alright, I'll do this now. And he's like, alright, all three of you come here. And they're like, okay. And the Doomslayer also made this jutsu as well. It's basically, he can, well actually no, this is a passive ability of Naruto's. I'm just gonna say this. Naruto is able to bring someone into his mindscape. It's just harder for him to do it with more than 2 people. So it's gonna take him 3 seconds to get 3 people into his mindscape. So yeah, and then Naruto just touches the ground and it pretty much shows a seal right below them. And like what's this? And it's like, nothing you need to worry about right now. And they sit down, and he sits down as well. And he pretty much spreads his hand in his chakra channeling jutsu. Well, pretty much in a way where you're channel chakra. And then he pretty much goes like, Hur! And then they're pretty much, then all 4 of them just get knocked out and send into Naruto's mind. Yeah, the other 3 are going like, well shit, because yeah, they're going, to them they're just going fast into Naruto's mind. And yeah, pretty much, okay, now we're gonna flashback a little bit to right after Naruto did that seal, and the Doomslayer is like, nice one, Naruto. And pretty much the other 3 are like, what did he do? It's like, this? And then he shows them. And it's like, oh, nice. It's like, probably did it because he sees me as a older brother. And pretty much all 3 of them are like, what now? It's like, well, I am the one that's been pretty much the most caring to him at the very start. That he's known of. It's like, and they're pretty much like, true. It's like, yeah. And, I didn't realize, and all 4 of them didn't realize it, but yeah, he took some of the Doomslayer's pretty much some of the Demon Slayer's pretty much features, pretty much the hair that the Demon Slayer has in his eyes. It's like, huh, that's new. And like, what? It's like, I'm surprised we didn't realize this until now. Look at Naruto's new feature, and they see that his hair is completely brown, like the Demon Slayer. Oh, and by now the Demon Slayer pretty much went back into the clothes that he's been wearing. Yeah, he has the same hair color and eye color as the Demon Slayer. Like, oh, huh, that's weird. It's like, yeah, like, hey, at least he still has those whiskers. It's like, and Karma's like, yeah, like, and the Slayer's like that. And then like, that's mainly because of you. It's like, yeah. Oh, through this time, only Mema has used any of the Crown Chakra, and yeah. At that time, Chrome was like, oh, I feel so much chakra coming back. And now we get back to when Naruto was like, and then all four of them are, and pretty much the other three are in Naruto's mind, and he's just standing up right next to them. It's like, come on, get up. It's like, where are we, Naruto? It's like, move into my mindscape. And they're like, wait, what? And it's like, yeah. Oh, and I forgot to mention this. Yeah, it's a force. He made it a force. I'm gonna say this. Before he met Tsunade, he's completely changed his mindscape into a forest. A beautiful forest. So yeah. And they're like, this is your mindscape? And you're like, yeah. And they keep walking. And Tsunade just sees pretty much the Slayer. It's like, what's this? It's like, Slayer? It's like, yeah. It's like, so Shim, you know what to do. And they're like, ah, gotcha. And then he shows the armor. And then they see the Demon Slayer symbol on it. And like, that be him. And like, what is that symbol for anyway? It's like, I'm gonna have to do this, aren't I? It's like, Slayer? It's like, yes, Naruto. It's like, show me your past. It's like, are you sure? It's like, yeah, I'm just hoping they don't go insane. And they're like, wait, what? It's like, yeah. Try to prepare your mind for this. And Naruto's like, Slayer. And Slayer immediately speeds over there. And Naruto just grabs onto his chest. Like, grabs his shoulder and goes like, you ready? It's like, yep. And he grabs their shoulder, pretty much makes shadow clones with one hand. And all of them grab onto each shadow clone grab onto one of their shoulders. And pretty much all three of them link up to Naruto's wrist. And they're like, and you go, and Slayer's like, you ready, Naruto? Like, yeah. Also, why not give me that information now as well? It's like, you sure? It's like, yeah, I think I'm old enough to know it now. It's like, alright. And he pretty much does a sign, he goes like, share the knowledge, Jutsu. And then they all see his path. And basically, Naruto's the only, like, Naruto, yeah, Tsunade and pretty much all three of them are slightly okay. They go like, yes! You know, pretty much one's in pain for a minute. For Naruto, it's like, he pretty much collapses to the ground, holding his head. And he's like that for a few seconds. Then the pain goes away and he's able to stand up again. And the Slayer's like, Naruto, are you okay? He's like, yeah. I didn't think we did that much damage. I guess I wasn't prepared enough. Like, yeah. And so then it's like, what happened? It's like, Naruto says, there's one major drawback to this, to that, the Toon Slayer didn't figure out the first time. If the person that he's sending the knowledge to isn't right for it, it'll hurt their mind. You know, and there's a possibility they'll go insane. And she was like, oh God. I was like, yeah. Yeah, at least we didn't. And he struggled a bit. It's like, oh, anyway, hey Tsunade. He's like, yes, Naruto? It's like, he pretty much just hops up and goes, follow me. He's pretty much just his happy self again. It's like, and the star's like, typical Naruto. And it's just like, what? It's like, first time I did this jutsu, he pretty much did that. Pretty much did the same thing. It's like, oh. Okay. And all three of them just pretty much follow Naruto. And the Slayer's like, well, I'm gonna bring myself over to them again. And he pretty much brings himself right next to Kurama, Minato, and Kushina. And then Tsunade just sees the fourth Hokage and Kushina, Uzumaki. And when Naruto just gets there, it's like, hello. And both Kushina and Minato goes like, come on, Naruto. And Kurama's like, hello, Naruto. Well, wait, hold on, let me get to that. Right. Hello, Naruto. I think I got it right. Please tell me if I did. Anyway, and when Tsunade sees pretty much Kushina and Minato, pretty much Kurama out of his cage, Kushina and Minato just sitting there. And Tsunade's like, how? And Kushina and Minato was like, they just point to the Slayer and go like, him. Go find out soon. And Naruto's like, oh yeah, hey Slayer, could you give me the knowledge of that jutsu that you basically did on us earlier? And he's like, sure. And he pretty much goes speaks straight to Naruto and does the jutsu and makes it so he learns the knowledge of that jutsu he just did. It's like, thanks. It's like, no problem. And then he's like, alright, here we go. And he pretty much makes another shadow clone. Well, yeah, he proved it once before, and now he makes another shadow clone. And this one does the same thing. And like, alright, here we go. And he touches. Actually, no, he makes two shadow clones this time. Wait, no, he makes three. And he pretty much makes it so all three of those shadow clones, one of their hands is touching one of their shoulders, like either the assistant of Tsunade or Shisuine's shoulder. One of their hands is doing that, and the other hand is touching Naruto, either on his back or on one of his shoulders. And I say the one in the middle pretty much touches Naruto's back, and the other two touch his shoulder. And he does it inside for the knowledge, like the shared knowledge jutsu. And he does it and he goes like, shared knowledge jutsu. And yeah, he pretty much gives them what on how he made it so Kushina and Minato will pretty much stay in Naruto forever, and how Kurama is freed. And when he finishes, like, and they didn't. And since there wasn't that much knowledge, it didn't hurt their minds. And Naruto's like, you guys good? It's like, yeah, we're good. It's like, and Naruto's like, so, that's how it happened. It's like, okay, so, one, this person has killed millions to billions of creatures that are called demons. It's like, yeah. And he had that. It's like, not in his world. It's like, true. But somehow he did get it coming to our world. Which I still don't understand how. And I was like, me and you, kid. Even as old as I am, I do not know anything. And I was like, yeah. And apparently, yeah. The weird part is, he got that, and Naruto was like, and you only got that, and you got that mind over your bunny. And the dude in the story was like, hey, though, she was my everything. And Naruto's like, it's still funny. And Tsunade and they watch all three of them, and Tsunade and Season go like, yeah, that is kind of funny. And so he's like, he's just embarrassed and goes, it's like, nah, it's fine, Slayer. It's like, oh, who's Tsunade? You want to talk to my mom and dad for a little bit? It's like, sure, why not? And she talks to Kushina and Minato and pretty much asked them how their lives were, and they just pretty much told her pretty much every single bit of it. Well, yeah, they really don't know about the bloodline, so that part will be still a secret to them. I'm also going to say this. There's a side ability to that ability. That Naruto can also go into other people's minds. He can choose whoever he wants to bring with. And then an hour later, well, pretty much an hour later in the landscape, but only a minute in the real world. Well, no, a few seconds in the real world, they're like, okay, we're gonna go get out of Naruto's mindscape now. And Naruto's like, okay. I took you guys outside of my mind. And it's like, wait, you can do that? It's like, yeah, I can. Don't know how, but I can. Maybe because they're in my mindscape. It's like, oh, yeah. Then they get out of his mindscape, and Naruto's like, okay, okay, now once they get out of his mindscape, and like, okay, so, what was the thing that you got? And it's like, I can show you guys. I would just have to reseal what I got from it. It's like, okay, and he pretty much shows the armor. And he pretty much goes like, release. And it pretty much a red aura comes from the seal. Pretty much, the aura glows red, and it pretty much pushes out the armor and puts it on him, clone the mask. And then he takes the mask off and goes like, this is what I got. It's like, holy crap. And I was like, yeah. And there's pretty much nothing that can even scratch this. And he pretty much has his tongue and goes like, and I'm like, holy crap. And it's like, yeah. And also the Slayer made it choosy where only I can use it. He's like, oh god, no. It's like, yes. And he's like, oh, anyway. He puts the helmet back on and he goes like, Slayers are, no, he goes like, reseal. Then pretty much reseals himself. It's like, okay, now let's continue. And now I'm going to do a time skip to when they get to Konoha. But they hides in the shadows. We actually know, since Naruto has changed almost dramatically, they're not gonna be able to recognize him. It's like, huh? Why didn't I realize this? Actually, yeah. While he was walking towards pretty much while he was walking, he looked at his reflection and goes like, huh? Why didn't I realize this? And and the other character was like, what? My features are different than what they originally were. And it's like, oh yeah. And Shinari's like, oh yeah, they should be yellow. You should have blue eyes and yellow hair, right? And he's like, yeah. Well, instead I have pretty much brown hair and I'm gonna say brown eyes for the Slayer. I'm like, oh, so, and Naruto's like, so we really don't need to hide in the shadows. So, but we're gonna have your name ads while we're there. It's like, Mazuki. It's like, really? It's like, yeah, why not? It's like, my name is Mazuki now. I'm like, okay. Or, like, no, he would be like, Namazuki Uzumaki. Yes. And they're like, that could work. It's like, yeah, because as far as we know, Konoha doesn't know all of the Uzumakis that are still alive. And he just has seen a sort of smile on his face. It's like, it's like, and Tsunai's like, I'm always concerned because like, why do you have that smile? It's like, one word, payback. It's like, oh, okay. Now I get to, yeah, and they just walk towards the scrimmage, go to the, oh, and since Naruto never got became a ninja, he's technically can just go in and out of the village as he please. Oh, and, yeah. Everybody in the village, well, pretty much anything about the Nine Tails missing hasn't gotten out throughout the years. And yeah, Kakashi's finally gonna see Naruto once again. And okay, I'm gonna say this now. Since Naruto has Kurama out of the cage, and they've done fist bump already between the time skip of between after he met Sisrin and before he met Tsunade, he's bumped fist with Kurama. So yeah, he gonna feel all the emotions with the help of the Doomslayer and Kurama. So yeah, his emotion, pretty much him sensing emotions from a certain person is really powerful. Like, if he just had Kurama, he could only sense evil emotions from a lot, just a area of people. But with Doomslayer and Kurama, he can sense feelings from any person he, like, if he wanted to look at a certain person and sense their feelings, he could. And yeah. So, his undercover name is Makake Uzumaki. Okay. Now, when they get to the gates, they see Tsunade. Pretty much the gate guards see Tsunade, and they're like, Tsunade. And they're like, yes, and she pretty much does what she would do. And the guards ask who are these three, and yeah, Siswin and Naruto are gonna go undercover as Tsunade's guards, and yeah, well, technically they are Tsunade's guards because they want to protect her with. Naruto just wants to protect all three of them with his life, and Siswin just pretty much wants to do the same, but the other way around. And Naruto just, well, actually, before they went there, Naruto just, both Naruto and Cecily say, Tsunade, if they ask, and Tsunade goes like, so, are we gonna hide in the shadows, or are we gonna go to the front gates? And they say, if we go for the front gates, we're gonna be your bodyguards. It's like, okay. It's like, that and our outfits are pretty much the perfect disguise for it being your bodyguard. And like, she's like, you're right. And yeah, then we get to Tsunade just saying, right after they say, who are those three? It's like, she points at Cecily and Naruto. She's like, these two are my bodyguards, and this one is my assistant. And Cecily and Naruto just don't speak, just nod their head real quick. And the assistant just raise her hand. And they let them in. And Naruto's like, just in his mind, nice. And yeah, pretty much all four of them in Naruto's mind. Pretty much Slayer, Kushina, Minato, and Kurama are just chuckling. Because yeah, that worked. And Naruto's like, yeah, this is gonna be so easy. And Naruto just feels like, and then once Naruto steps inside Konoha, he feels guilt, sadness, only on one person. It's like, wait. In his mind, like, as soon as he stepped into Konoha, Naruto, like, after a few steps, Cecily and Naruto took off their hoods. And Tsunade's like, and Naruto, as soon as he took off his hood, his face stayed the same for a few seconds, and it went into, it pretty much went like a confusing look. And Tsunade pretty much all they're gonna ask, what is it? I feel guilt and sadness from a certain person. I just don't know who it is yet. Like, we'll find out. And yeah, third Hokage has been notified that Tsunade is in Konoha. And he's like, wait, what? Because yeah, he ain't gonna expect Tsunade in Konoha. And yeah, no one's gonna recognize Naruto. But yeah, there's only gonna be one person that's gonna be the closest to figure out that is Naruto. And that is Kakashi Hatake. Yeah. And Naruto was like, so, I'm gonna find out who has these emotions. And so I was like, alright, be careful. It's like, real quick, I'm gonna do this. And he just does a sharp claw. And it pretty much goes to find whoever it is. And now now we're gonna be at the Shadow Clone's perspective for a little bit. Wait, first, we go to Kakashi Hatake's perspective. And he's at that boulder where all those names of the fallen are at. And he's pretty much thinking in his head, where are you, Naruto? And then we see the clone pretty much jumping from rooftop to rooftop. And this clone can pretty much do the same thing not the original Naruto can, which is sense the feelings. And he just keep going towards the person that has those feelings. And when he gets to the trees around that boulder, Naruto sees Kakashi Hatake, and yeah, this clone is like, hmm? And he pretty much climbs down the, pretty much, he's on a branch and he puts his hand right on the branch and he pretty much swings off it. And he walks over to Kakashi with his hand in his pockets and goes like, so, what are you sad about? And Kakashi's like, where did he come from? He's like, oh. And he pretty much, like, this, and he's like, oh. And he looks and he's like, and in his mind he's like, oh shit. And because yeah, this is the gravestone of Rin. Well, yeah, Rin, Obito, Minato, Kushina. And yeah, he's like, oh. And Kakashi also about to talk about, just starts talking about Naruto as well, and like, kind of wish I wasn't there for Naruto, and this clone eyes wide, and you're like, why is that? And he talked about why he thought, and he pretty much was Naruto's, his father, Naruto's father's student, and yeah, this clone comforts him and goes like, hey, if he knew about you wanting to be there, he would probably just find you and tell you what he's been doing throughout these years. It's like, probably. And it's like, well, see ya. Oh, and so what is your name? It's like, oh, it's Kakashi Hatake. It's like, thank you, Kakashi. And yeah, unknown to Kakashi, Nurse Cloud is smiling. He's like, and he goes straight into the trees again. He's like, well, original means gonna be surprised, and he poofs. And listen, now we go back to the fourth protect, pretty much Naruto's and the others' perspective. And they're in pretty much Christina, the assistant, and the other two, well, C-Suite and Naruto are heading for the third Hokage's office. Then Naruto just because pretty much all three of them see Naruto do something that tells them that he got information back. And it's like, what is it? And it's like, huh, that's surprising. But also at the same time, not surprising. I should have seen it by now. It's like, what? It's like, the ones with those feelings was Kakashi Hatake, student of the fourth Hokage. It's like, oh, what the hell? It's like, yeah. And he wanted to be there for me, so that's a plus. Like, ooh. Now we get to them going to the pretty much at the Hokage's office. And pretty much when Tsunade knocks on the door, certain guys come in. And he sees Tsunade, her assistant, and two other people. And the friend of Hokage, well, they put their clothes back on. And he asks, who are they? And he's like, my bodyguards. Tsunade says. And he's like, oh? He's like, yes. And Naruto in his mind is just chuckling. This is pretty much in his mind he's like and Naruto's pretty much like the plan is working. I'm gonna say this is a week, and I'm gonna say this is a week before the tuning exams. And so it goes like, so, Hiruzen, would it be possible if I could have my bodyguards join the tuning exams? It's like, why is that? It's like, I don't know I don't know. I've I've only picked them up as bodyguards recently. I just want to see what they can really do. And this is part of the plan as well. And Third Hokage agrees. And in the Third Hokage goes like, this is gonna be we need this to be a 3-person team. And then he sees the male bodyguard just nod his head for a no. And Tsunade just pretty much puts that into words and says, my bodyguards pretty much saying that teamwork works best with the people they know their skills and weaknesses of. And the Third Hokage is like, yep. And now we skip to a week later. And yeah, if you guys know what I'm doing, you'll see it. And yeah. Then the Third Hokage asks for their names. And I'm gonna say this. Naruto's voice also got deep enough to where it won't be recognizable. And he went like, and he asked for the two's names. And she goes like, C-Suite Uzumaki. And he nods his head and goes, looks at the male and he goes like, and the male goes like, Makoto Uzumaki. And he nods his head. Because yeah, Konoha does not know all the Uzumaki's names. Now we're gonna skip it a week later. And they head towards the tuning scenes. And first is that, and when they see that, well actually no, yeah. When they get, and I'm gonna do a go-to Team 7, and yeah. Pretty much Kakashi tells on about, we're gonna go a week, pretty much head back to when Kakashi would tell Team 7 about the tuning exams, and yeah, they would all agree, just all say yes. And yeah, they had different clothing. Actually, no, they just left the clothing they had on now. Now And now we skip a week later to where the training games start. And yeah, Naruto and C-Swing just see what happened to Sasuke, and they just snicker a little bit. I'm just gonna say this. Mama is pretty much like Naruto, and C-Swing's like Sakura, but no, she's just smarter. That's it. That's the only thing she's has that's like Sakura. That's it. Pretty much pretty much Yuki and Mama don't like Sasuke that much. And pretty much both of them just okay, yeah. Mama and Yuki don't like Naruto. Okay, don't like Sasuke, but they will work with him. Their teamwork is not the best, but it's good enough for them. It was good enough for them to pass the bell test. Sorry about that pause. Anyway, yeah, when they see what happened to Sasuke with Lee, they just sneak a little bit. And yeah, no one has realized that. Oh, and yeah, they have their hose down, so. Oh, his face, pretty much his face has pretty much went into the Doomslayer's face. Pretty much. Yeah, he looks like that. And they just walked straight through the Genshuju. For Naruto was like, is that even there? And for Sisune, she's like, that's there. And they just walked straight to the right room. Okay, I forgot to mention this. Before the training exams, and Conqueror's still the same that he was in the very beginning of this show. So yeah, so he's still gonna be like that. And he pumps in. Okay, I'm just gonna do a flashback a little bit so I can do this. Basically, he bumps into Conqueror. And yeah, Naruto knows who this is. He knows who that little kid is. So yeah. Wait, Kamaru. Yeah, that. Kamaru. Yeah. And Naruto's just walking by and he sees that. And he's like, no. It's like, you idiot. And yeah, then Naruto just body flicks right behind Conqueror. And he just says, he just pretty much tilts his head and goes like, you idiot. And Conqueror's like, why are you calling me an idiot? And go like, because whose grandchild do you think you're holding there? And the girl with the fan realize who it is and goes like, Conqueror, you idiot. Well, pretty much the girl with the fan that says, Conqueror, you idiot. He's like, what did I do? It's like, you are holding the third Hokage's grandchild. He's like, oh, fuck. He's like, yeah. So, if you don't want to start a war, I'll go with that kid. Or would you want to start a war with Leaf? And Carl just let's go of Kamaru and just his back just pretty much goes like just pretty much goes like, dang, I almost started a war. And it's like, and Carl just like, you idiot, you're a failure to the sand. And Naruto's like, Oh, and who are you to call him that? And he pretty much crack his neck and show a creepy smile through, like, under his hood, and goes like, who do you, and who are you to call him that? And he has a creepy smile on his face. And yeah, the two only seen that on Gara, and Gara's like, oh, and who are you? And Naruto's like, And he takes off his hood and goes like, let's see if you're, I will see if you're worthy enough to know my true name. But for now, you may call me Makoto Uzumaki. And yeah, pretty much everyone in pretty much the only other village that knows of a kid called Naruto Uzumaki of abandoning his village is Lasayan. And Karen is actually, and it's like, you interest me, Makito Uzumaki. And Naruto's like, well, you don't interest me. In a, like, demonic voice. And yeah, at that moment, Slayer's like, I don't like hearing that. He's like, And slightly in his mind's like, Naruto's like, come on, Slayer, I have to do this. It's like, fine. Then Naruto just walks away. No, he body flickers away. Now, that's the end of the flashback. Now we get to when he gets into that class. And he pretty much beats his father's score. And C-Swing does the same thing. And the person that's there, which is I'm pretty sure the captain of the interrogation class, is like, oh, you interest me. And Naruto's mind is like, this is new. And pretty much all of them is like, well, yeah, you look completely different from your old self. Like, true. And then Uncle just does her thing, and Naruto's like, just looks at her, just slowly tilts his head towards her and goes like, who are you? No, he's not like that. He slowly tilts his head towards her and goes like, he narrows his eyes and he like slightly sees a seal on her neck and goes like, he pretty much under his breath says, a seal? And yeah, I'm just gonna say this, Uncle could read mouths, and she's like, her eyes are wide because she saw the seal. Oh yeah, Naruto's a master at seals. Just gonna say that now because it's just gonna say. And yeah, now we get to when all of them are outside of the forest of death. Well, first Naruto and C-Swing just walk outside, and Uncle sees the two. Okay, scratch what I said earlier. And this is when Naruto is gonna say under his breath, a seal? When he narrows his eyes right at Anko. And C-Swing heard him like, what? It's like, and Uncle is like, what? It's like, and he just walks very close and goes like, when he sees the seal, he's like, he pretty much gets an pretty much, once he sees the seal, he steps back, goes back two, just steps back twice, and then he's right back next to Cecily, and they both see an angry face on him and go, and yeah, went from just his the upper part of his face being looking angry to his whole face looking angry. And all you would hear under, like, through his anger is, no, like, fucking snake. And yeah, Cecily doesn't know what he's talking about, but Uncle dies. And she's like, how do you know? And it's like, that is my secret. And he calms down a bit. He's like, now. And he goes like, he pretty much just hand signs real fast. And he finishes and goes like, he raises his hand and goes, and he pretty much, Butterfly goes right behind her. And he just pretty much says, eternal seal. And then pushes the seal on her neck, right where it is. And it permanently seals that curse seal. So it can never do what Ultramar could do. And he butterfly goes right back to C-Swing side. And he's like, and she asks, what did you do? And he's like, eternal seal. What did you think? And she's like, oh, thank you. He's like, I do not like seeing that seal. So I will just either seal away or destroy its creator. And Cecil asks, who's the creator of it? It's Orochimaru, the rogue Sonic. And she's like, oh, real shit. I was like, yeah. And yeah, then everybody gets there, and Anko talks about the force of death. Then we get to, now, yeah, Naruto and C-Swing get the scrolls, but they just stay behind long enough to see Orochimaru trying to pretty much get Sasuke. And Naruto's like, and C-Swing's like, what is it? And he points directly at Orochimaru's location. He's like, he's here. And yeah, Naruto's like, sorry to do this, but okay, but before the tuning exams even started in the first place, he made another seal on his forearm, which is for the outfit he uses. Sorry about that. Anyway, he goes like, reseal, unleash. No, he goes like, reseal. He does one hand sign for, that's the one for the outfit, and it's like, reseal. And it reseals the outfit, and it goes like, release. And that one's for the armor. And it unleashes the armor. And she's like, oh, you're gonna kill him. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna kill him. And he's like, and he pretty much gets ready. And he goes full power with the Demon Slayer's power, strength, and speed. And Naruto's like, Kurama, allow me to use your full potential, to use the chakra. Like, granted. And pretty much she goes into KCM Mark II. And he goes like, and then he jumps straight from the Ultramon and goes like, yeah. And the armor is able, is now, well, it's kind of like able to use the chakra of the Nine Tails. And Naruto just comes straight from Ultramon. And Ultramon can feel great amounts of bloodlust. And Ultramon dodges right in time for a man in a golden armor to slice a tree in half. And he just looks at Ultramon and he's like, Ultramon! And he's like, oh, and who might you be? And Naruto's like, just goes like, the one that will kill you. Oh, and the Chroma's KCM 2 and the full power of the Doomstars, those auras are mixing together. I don't know what red and orange look like together, but I'm just gonna say there's some red and orange in there, and the sparkles of the God Key. So of that, yeah. So since basically the Slayer is a demigod, I'm gonna say that when Naruto's using the full power, there's like sparkle, like those things that Ultra Instinct would have. So yeah, and Naruto's like, today is your death. And he pretty much goes for Orochimaru, but in the end, he fails. I'm like, fuck. It's like, I'll get him next time. And he goes like, he pretty much goes for the armor seal and goes like, reseal. And then for the outfit seal, release. And yeah, those, and pretty much makes it so he replaces the armor with his outfit. He's like, damn it. And he no longer using 100% of his Demon Slayer's powers. And he lets go of Kurama's KCM 2 chakra. Sorry about that. And now we get to them going back. Yeah, no, Sasuke's still gonna have the curse mark. Sorry about that. And we get to the preliminary rounds. And yeah, pretty much, it's Makoto Uzumaki versus Kiba. And Naruto wins. And yeah, she's winning the match. She wins. Oh, and every other match is pretty much the same. Oh wait, no. Naruto wouldn't go against Kiba in this one. Mama would, and he would win. And yeah, Naruto's in C-Swing's match, they win. And when Sasuke's match goes out the same. When Envy and Hinato's fight goes, but almost the same, but when Neji tried to do the finishing blow, Naruto's like, no. And he pretty much goes like, just teleports right beside Neji and grab his arms and put him right behind his back and goes like, you do that to your own cousin. But it's just, you are just garbage then. And he let go of his wrist and chops him on the neck and goes like, and right before Neji gets knocked out, Naruto says, you are below trash. Yeah, and Neji probably gets hurt by this. And pretty much everyone is shocked. Because, yeah, this person just did that. And Kakashi is starting to think this is Naruto. Because, yeah, the similarities. And after the preliminary, all the preliminary rounds are over, yeah, Mama and Yuki still meet Jiraiya. Jiraiya changes them both, and yeah, that happens. And right after those exams, the preliminary rounds, he walked up to the new person and asked, hey, could I talk to you in private? Young man is like, sure. Kakashi Hatake. Because, yeah, he still had his hood on. He's like, how do you know my name? And it's like, simple. He takes off his hood. How would I forget someone I met earlier this week? And go like, ah. So I have a question. It's like, yes. Is it possible you're Naruto Uzumaki? Naruto's like, ah. Looks like someone figured it out. And Kakashi just gets teared down upon his eyes. And Naruto's like, he pretty much wipes that tear away. He goes like, now, we don't need to cry here now, do we? Especially if I want my plan to continue. And it's like, what plan? It's like, payback. Oh, and then Kashi asks, so how did you get here? It's like, haven't you heard the news? It's like, what news? Tsunami's in the village. With like pretty much a grit and a smile on his face. And it goes like, no. It's like, yes. And now it's just like, it's like, he pretty much has his tongue out and goes like, just rubs his hand together and goes like, he. And Kashi goes like, why did you come here with tonight? He's like, she's my auntie. And he's like, pretty much imagine his jaw dropping. It's like, you're kidding. It's like, nope. And yeah, they talked for a little bit. And Kashi asked, so what you been doing for these years? And I was just like, well, you should know one of them by now. He's like, yeah, the village brother. It's like, exactly. Well, when I first ran away, I stayed there in the woods for a year. Then, 1 year later, I found someone around my age named Shisui Uzumaki. And yeah, he talked about what he's been doing. And he's like, oh, that's cool. He's like, yeah. But he doesn't tell him anything about what he knows about his mindscape. Like, Kurama, his parents, the newsletter, and all that. So, yeah. Then a week later after that, Naruto and Sasuke are training. And Naruto's like, and then Naruto just sees pretty much a scroll coming out of the sky. Well, pretty much sees something coming from the sky. Naruto's like, pretty much puts his hand up over his eyes and goes like, what is that? And he's like, what the fuck? Like, it's just going straight for him. And he gets out of the way. And it crashes, and it lands where he was. And this scroll is for it's a dragon summoning. Yeah. In the summoning, well, pretty much the leader of all the dragons is Namaku. Yeah. No Kakuzu. Kakuzu. Yes, Kakuzu. Wait, no. Nukaku. Yes, Nukaku. The leader dragon is Nukaku. And he summons that, and he goes like, so, you're the first one to ever get this summoning. It's like, cool. So, wanna talk for a little bit? It's like, sure. And they talk for a little bit. And now Naruto knows all about the dragons summoning creatures. It's like, cool. It's like, so... yeah, then Naruto finishes the poem credits. Oh, and Dragon Sage Road pretty much has that thing that the Toad has, where if you punch someone and miss, pretty much the air around your, pretty much the air that you hit, pretty much the air that is made by your fist, will, if it touches the target, will pretty much hurt them. How much does that really blow them away? And it pretty much makes it so you can fly. And whatever. And for water. Yeah, and also another thing important. You can do jutsus without doing hand signs. If you have the safe mode active. So, yeah. Oh, and yeah, that's it for that Dragon safe mode. And yeah, now we skip the month and we do the finals. And that's where we're gonna end it off for now. Anyway, if you like this, like, subscribe, and comment for more. Anyway, this has been your Lord. Peace.